Alto, Juan Bautista.
Something a little bit different to start our ceremony. Thank you, gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our swearing-in ceremony. I'd like to call our meeting to order. If you please stand and join me in pledge allegiance to the flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. May we have the roll call, please?
Councilmember Dean.
Here.
Bautista.
Here.
Sorenson.
Here.
Chang.
Yes.
Mayor Burnett.
Here. Oral communications. This is a time in the meeting for anyone who would like to bring any matter before the council that is not on the agenda to come forward to the podium and speak. So is there anyone who would like to do that this evening? Seeing no one, it's also the time for anyone who would like to make comments concerning the ceremony this evening. So if there's anyone who'd like to do that, come forward at that time. Seeing no one, we'll move on with our ceremony. Function of our meeting tonight is to select our new mayor and vice mayor. So I'd like to open this meeting for nominations for mayor of the city of Cupertino.
It gives me great pleasure to nominate John Bautista.
Second.
We have a nomination and a second. Vote with your lights, please.
Motion carries unanimously.
She had doubts.
I'll give the oath of office to our new Mayor Bautista at this time. You need to stand on that one. This is already on. You won't hear me on the mic. Would you raise your right hand, please? Do you solemnly swear to support and defend
I solemnly swear to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that you will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that you take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion.
and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties
I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which you are about to enter
upon which I am about to enter
for the city of Cupertino.
for the city of Cupertino.
Thank you. Congratulations.
This is a big chair to fill, Don. Thank you very much. I would like at this point to open the meeting for nominations for the office of Vice Mayor.
I'd like to nominate Lauralee Sorenson for Vice Mayor for a 6-month term ending May 20th, 1997, with a reorganization meeting at that time to select the Vice Mayor for the remaining 6 months of the term.
Is there a second?
Second the motion.
I thought it would be appropriate this time to discuss the motion. And there's been quite a bit of discussion regarding the motion of Vice Mayor, because for the first time in the history of Cupertino since 1955, we've been confronted with a situation where, in fact, two individuals, Lauralee Sorenson, who typically the way Vice Mayor is elected is based on election rank. In the prior election, it's a seniority-based system. And based on that, Lauralee has asked that she serve as Vice Mayor for 6 months The reason is also based on seniority rank. Michael Chang, who was elected in the last election, who received the highest number of votes, based on the historical tradition in Cupertino, would be entitled to be mayor next year. And so we're confronted with a situation in which Michael, who will be mayor next year based on historical tradition, would not have the opportunity to serve as vice mayor unless we crafted some solution. And I think that it's an ideal solution to give Lauralee the opportunity to serve and Michael the opportunity to serve based on a reorganization meeting, which we will have 6 months from now. And I think that that is a appropriate solution, and I think at this point we will vote on the motion.
What with the lights?
Motion carries unanimously.
Right.
Vice Mayor Sorenson, I'll give you your oath now. Raise your right hand, please. Raise right. That's your left.
Okay, I did the same thing.
I was facing you. Mirror image.
Do you solemnly swear to support and defend
I solemnly swear to support and defend
the Constitution of the United States
the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
and the Constitution of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
that you will bear true faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States
to the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of California,
and the Constitution of the State of California,
that you take this obligation freely,
that I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion,
or purpose of evasion,
and that you will well and faithfully discharge the duties
and that I will
well and faithfully
well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which you are about to enter
upon which I am about to enter
for the city of Cupertino.
for the city of Cupertino.
Thank you. It's a tongue twister, isn't it?
More musical chairs.
It's also a tradition in the city of Cupertino for the new mayor to give a gift to the outgoing mayor, Don Burnett. And Don, would you join me down here, please? This. Don, you and I first made our acquaintance over 3.5 years ago when we were both running very similar campaigns in 1992. Or was it 93, Don? 93. I think it was 93. And we've been friends ever since. We've shared a common vision, common goals, and aspirations for the city of Cupertino. Yes, we've disagreed at times, but one thing that we have always held in common is our respect for each other, I believe, and our likeness for and liking for Cupertino, and wanting to see the best for the city. And it is indeed a pleasure for me to give this gift to you and to follow you as mayor of the city, and I'm very proud to be able to do that. This is the official gift to you, Don, as outgoing mayor of the city of Cupertino, and by all means.
Demonstrate my disrespect for wrapping paper.
Kim probably wrapped this, all right?
Thank you very much. Beautiful. Table cloth. Thank you very much, John, and it's very comforting to me to see the leadership of the council and the mayorship of the city fall into such capable and honorable hands.
Don, before you leave, well, there's another gift that I want to give you, and I thought I would put this hat on while I'm doing it, because this might be a clue to some people in the audience as to the subject matter of this gift. Any volunteers for, besides being a terrific mayor and a terrific inspiration, I think I've got this thing all right. Does anyone want to volunteer what Don Burnett stands for in the city of Cupertino? Bicycles. Bicycle safety, bicycle awareness. In fact, Marilyn and I just recently purchased bikes, and Don just handed me tonight a maze from Cupertino to Saratoga, a way to get to Saratoga without traveling on Highway 9 or Sunnyvale-Saratoga Road. So we'll be traveling that path on Saturday. But Don has been very instrumental in increasing awareness in the city of Cupertino and working through the Bicycle Advisory Committee. Don doesn't know this, but behind the scenes, city staff has worked diligently to make a goal a reality, which is behind this curtain.
All right.
What this sign is about is increasing awareness among motorists that in Cupertino we share the road. Motorists share the road with bicyclists. And this sign will appear in critical locations all over the city to send the message that Cupertino is a bicycle-friendly and a pedestrian-friendly community. And as part of that, Don, you have a small piece of this sign in a plaque that says, Mayor Don Burnett, in recognition of your outstanding contribution to making Cupertino a bicycle-friendly community. Thank you, Don.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm regarded as quite a nag in the bicycling community because I'm always exhorting them to be courteous and to behave and follow the law. I'm going to keep on being a nag and try and really bring this to reality because it works. I've been cycling for about 32 years in the community, and courtesy pays. It helps. Follow the law, and thank you very much.
Marilyn and I may not want to bike with you then, Don. I mean,
I'm discreet.
We'll put you ahead of us. This is another award. It's the official gavel, City of Cupertino. Don Burnett, Mayor, 1995 to 1996.
Thank you very much.
I'd like to open this part of the meeting to comments by council members regarding the events tonight.
Well, about tonight?
Whatever you want to say,
I
Wally.
saw 5 guys walk in with sticks. I was scared. No, I think this effort is to honor Don and the year that he's put in. I think he's brought some new concepts to the city. I think the bicycle habitat is in good hands under his leadership. It takes diversity of opinions to bring a full answer to the city, and I think we had it this last year. Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Wally has said. We certainly all know that bicycles are around for safety and lanes and what have you, because I think you brought this to the forefront, and I think that's very good. Thank you, Don.
I just want to add my appreciation to Don for his leadership role as mayor. As a new council member this year, I find that Don has been a real role model in terms of how to be involved in the community. And the time that he makes available is just eye-opening to me on the community. And he has set a very high mark that hopefully one day I would be able to emulate. And I also want to congratulate John for becoming the mayor, and look forward to working with John, and Lauralee, the vice mayor, and worked well with Wally. And I also appreciate, because we are now in a new situation with term limits, and that do appreciate, I want to publicly express my appreciation to the council for the opportunity to serve as vice mayor before becoming mayor. So thank you all very much.
John, can I just, on behalf of the city staff, express to Don Burnett our appreciation for your leadership this past year. You've been a really good mayor because not only are you willing to lead in a political and policy way, but you're willing to roll up your sleeves and get in there and actually do the work. And you've taken on some pretty tough assignments. A couple that I can think of where you've had real success was working on the Stevens Creek quarry issue, and you went to a lot of meetings and you got some really good results, and then also volunteering to be on the Highway 85 Sound Committee, a thankless job, but I think also you got some good results out of that. So on behalf of the staff, thanks for a great year. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
I'd like to thank the council for its support in electing me mayor this coming year, and also like to thank Don Brown and Chuck Killian and the city staff for their help, and members of the community for their support. And I've gotten to know and constant feedback, and I've worked with many members of the community over the last 3 years, and I feel that we've developed a very long and lasting and productive relationship. My hope is that that will continue through this next year. I also want to thank my family and friends for their support over the last 3 years. And I thought it would be fun to introduce some people in the audience tonight. First and foremost is my wife, Marilyn, who's sitting in the front row. Seated next to her is my mom, and my dad's in 3 rows behind her. If you could stand up so everyone can see who you are. Marilyn's parents made, we weren't sure where they were going to get here, but they made the trip up from Calabasas, and we're very glad to have them here tonight. And also in the audience, I have my brother and sister and aunts, uncles, cousins, and grandparents. And they're all sitting here in the first 3 rows, and then many co-workers tonight from my law firm. There are probably more lawyers in the room tonight than all the city of Cupertino. I am honored and very proud to serve as mayor of Cupertino this next year. Since joining the council 3 years ago, the spirit of Cupertino has left an indelible mark on me. For me, it's about what makes Cupertino so special and so different a place. The spirit of Cupertino is the spirit of cooperation, of people working together for the benefit of the entire community. I've been on the council for 3 years, and they've been 3 very productive years. Why? Because this council, the commissions, and city staff have worked together with residents, businesses, the Chamber of Commerce, community groups, nonprofits, and other organizations to solve common problems and attain uncommon results. These include, over the last 3 years, negotiating a settlement with the diocese for the permanent preservation of open space, adopting a hillside preservation ordinance, adopting a commercial ordinance with the cooperation of the Chamber of Commerce, implementing the Stevens Creek beautification plan, which was the outgrowth of the Heart of the City charrette, which involved a tremendous amount of community input, adopting an economic development strategy resulting from an economic development summit which we had 2 springs ago, also involving significant community input, reinstating the 4th of July fireworks, and other festivities with private financial support from the community, working with schools and other community leaders to tackle graffiti in the city, and passing a non-smoking ordinance. These goals could not have been achieved without this spirit of cooperation. I believe that the greatest challenge facing this city in the years to come is keeping this spirit alive, encouraging participation by all citizens of whatever economic class or ethnic background, reaching for common goals that benefit the entire community and not one sector of the community or another. I ask everyone in this room tonight and everyone who's watching on closed circuit TV and everyone in the community to join with me to meet this challenge. Going forward, this council has established a wish list, a set of specific goals for the city for the next year. But it is, again, only through the active participation of members of the communities, of this community, that these goals have any real meaning, that they stick, that they make us feel proud of living here and raising our families here, and feeling as if we're a part of the community, because we indeed are. I'd like to spend a couple of moments talking about these goals for the next year. First, expanding the library or building a new library to meet the growing needs of the community. The Library Commission is now beginning initial studies to determine what the needs will be for a new or expanded library. This council plans to establish a community task force in spring, and we will need your help and input in doing that. Second, expanding the senior center to meet the needs of the growing number of seniors in the community. This council has preliminarily committed up to $1 million for this expansion effort, and the Park and Recreation Commission is now engaged in a preliminary study to address the needs of the senior center. Again, this spring we will establish a task force to look at the senior center, and we will encourage and ask for your input. Third, preserving the economic health of the community and the city, and finding ways to increase city revenues to accomplish all the various goals that we have. This council has established an economic development team which is working to expand city revenues by a number of things. For example, we're looking to attract a hotel to the city, or a number of hotels, which will result in significant hotel tax dollars to the city. Attract businesses to the city that have a sales tax revenue generation for the city. And we are also working to turn around Valco Park and try to find an anchor tenant for the Emporium site, which is a significant issue for the city, and looking for ways, for example, to retain REI, which is a significant sales tax producer in our top 20, and keep REI in the city. These are specific examples of things that this council and the economic development team, in cooperation with the chamber and the other members of the community, are doing to enhance the city's revenues so that we can attain the other results in terms of an expanded library and an expanded senior center and the other things that we wish to do. Fourth on the list is election reform. This is important in this city to maintain what has always been the local flavor of political campaigning in the city, to ensure that there is a level playing field, and to encourage all types of citizens to participate in the political process and to select elective office in the city. As part of this, we will be looking at ways to reform the electoral process, in particular limiting campaign signs and ridding this city of what has been termed election graffiti. Possible limitations on contributions, prohibitions on deficit spending in campaign funding, encouraging full and open disclosure prior to Election Day, and exploring the possibility of mandatory term limits. Again, we are in the early stages of developing an electoral reform, and we will be seeking your input in this process as to what should the city do to encourage a broad-based participation in the electoral process. Fifth, celebrating our history and our cultural richness. Cupertino is indeed a culturally rich community with lots of history, from the 4th of July festivities to Oktoberfest to the Dickens Fair and the Cherry Blossom Festival and many more. We ask for your continued participation and support. I've been asked by my friends sitting in the back row to announce tonight, as part of the De Anza Trail expedition, that on November 25th at 3:00 p.m. in the Monte Vista High School parking lot, they will begin their celebration of the 220th anniversary of the first Spanish explorers to come through this area, There is something close to 2,000 miles of trails starting in Mexico and running through California. And in fact, at one point in time, De Anza and his expedition camped in Cupertino. There's a plaque at the Monte Vista parking lot. And another interesting historical fact is this expedition first saw the San Francisco Bay from the knoll, which is currently located on the diocese property. And my personal hope is that we will soon be able to honor a plaque or a marker indicating that that was a site, a historical site for the city. Again, that'll be at 3 o'clock on Monday, November 25th, followed by a barbecue at the Senior Center at 5 o'clock. Also, in the area of celebrating our history and our cultural richness, the city of Cupertino, in cooperation with De Anza College, is sponsoring a dialogue sponsored by an organization called the Public Dialogue Consortium, which over the last 6 to 9 months has been meeting with residents and businesses and other members in the community to find ways to express their views of citizens in Cupertino to the council about what truly is going on in Cupertino. What are the issues that are facing this council? What are the issues that this council needs to be aware of and needs to address in the years to come? And I invite and encourage you all to attend this forum, which will be held at the Quinlan Center at 7 o'clock on November 20th. And I think that'll be a very productive meeting. Thanks to everyone for this opportunity to serve as mayor this next year. On a personal note, it symbolizes for me the democratic process and the American dream of a local kid, a second-generation American, a person who attended our schools, Regnart, Lincoln, and Monte Vista, and moved back here with my wife, Marilyn, after law school. I've gotten involved to give back to this community, and I ask for your support and cooperation to do good for the entire community. Please join me in this challenge for the next year. Thank you very much. I'd like to announce that we will have a reception in the lobby, and at this point, I'd like
Thank
to
you.
entertain.
I'd like to say a few parting words.
Okay.
In reflection on my year, when you start out being mayor, it's a big step, and you enter it with a certain trepidation as you go into it. And it's been a wonderful experience for me. There are two aspects of Cupertino which I think are particularly unique and make it particularly enjoyable to be mayor. One is the cultural diversity, which is far richer than even I had suspected in terms of the different types of groups. During this year, I've attended a visitation by the prelate of the Armenian Orthodox Church. There have been 2 Persian festivals that have been here, Vietnamese, Chinese. We have a fairly large contingent of people from East India, and it's been really exciting to watch the art, music, and activities of all these people and observe the diversity. And John's going to have an opportunity as mayor to see a lot of that as well. The second aspect of it is the willingness of the people to work to help each other and to help those that are less fortunate. There are just so many organizations in the community that do that. And it's really very heartening, and I've been very proud to serve in a community that has that kind of spirit. So it's been a wonderful experience, and I'm looking forward to continuing to serve under John's able leadership. Thank you all very much.
Is there a motion to adjourn?
Move to adjourn.